Welcome back to Decked Out.
On today's episode, we are joined by first-time guest DannyPhantom, ZMainCharacter, and Maldhound. And to celebrate Optimist Day, each player has brought to the table a very optimistic win condition.
As always, thank you to our sponsors, Tales of Adventure, Moxfield, and Ultimate Guard, and today's featured sponsor, Elgato. But more on all of them later in the video.
All right, that's enough of us for now. Let's go ahead, meet the players, and see what sort of win condition they brought to the table.
What's up, everyone? My name is Danny. You can find me at DannyPhantomExe on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and maybe TikTok at this point. Who knows? I don't. And today I'm playing Atraxa Grand Unifier. My goal is to win with my secret commander, the Millennium Calendar. I have to get 1,000 counters on this thing, and if I don't, I'm not gonna win any other way. I refuse to.
Hello everybody, I am ZMainCharacter, your favorite card hoarding gremlin, and today, to nobody's surprise, I am playing the Enchantments deck. I am playing Marina Vendrell, who came with her own win condition in the set that she came with. But unlike the grim fate of Duskmourn, I will also be possibly winning with Happily Ever After, both of which rely on me throwing up enough enchantments on the board on my upkeep.
Hi everybody, my name is Maldhound. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and potentially TikTok by the time this airs, touching cards, attempting to touch your heart, but most importantly, letting you know whether or not I'd touch your commander's parts. Today, I am playing Maze's End as an alternate win condition, which boils down to all my turns being land pass with more extra steps than you ever thought possible as I attempt to assemble 10 differently named gates.
Today, I am playing Iron Man, Titan of Innovation, but instead of going after the Infinity Stones, we're gonna be going after the 7 Fallout bobbleheads. We have to collect all of them and try to use the lucky bobblehead as an alternate win condition. This isn't terribly likely, but thankfully, the other bobbleheads should help me stall out the game until I can get a lot of dice rolls. Today's episode is brought to you by Elgato. Thanks to them, we are able to add some wonderful key lights, stream decks, and cameras to our Spelltable and streaming setups. And I heard if you push buttons on the stream deck, you can make magic things happen.
Woo! Please don't touch that. Please don't touch that. Please don't touch that. Hi!
And don't forget, you can always upgrade your at-home setups, get some wonderful equipment for yourself, for your work from home, for your desk, just anything you might need from Elgato. And we even have a code and link down below for you guys to save 5% on all the equipment you could possibly need. And that is ZZ-MNG.
Please don't touch that because it's time to get into the game.
Welcome to the table. Let's see who goes first.
5.
Not me.
13.
I got an 18. Nope,
It's a
that's not
1.
believable. I got a 20.
13.
13.
It's me first.
I am going to start with Island and pass.
I'm gonna play a tap land. It's a gate.
Begins.
9 to go.
I will also play an Island and pass.
Excellent. I'm going to be a responsible Wooburg player and play a Triumph. Tapped. Pass.
A Triumph, you say? I'm going to play an Exotic Orchard, which taps for any one of your colors. I will tap Exotic Orchard for a green, and I will play Rampant Growth. I will now go look for a basic land card and put that onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle.
I will find this forest. It enters tapped. Pass.
I'm gonna play the Thrawn Portal, which is actually one of the few interesting lands. So it ETBs untapped because I do not have 2 or more other lands out. As it enters, I'm gonna choose Forest. That is the basic land type that this now is, so it can tap for green, but tapping it for green costs me 1 life. I'm going to do so, and I'm gonna tap the Daymare Guildgate for blue, and I'm going to Growth Spiral, Simiking on that thing. I'm going to put the Black Gate, which is a legendary gate. I will have enter tapped up to 3. Watch out. Pass.
I will play a Sulphur Falls for turn and pass. I've got nothing going on here.
I will go ahead and play a Marsh Flat. I'm going to immediately tap, pay 1 life, sack it, and I am going to play a Sacred Foundry as my Mountain Plains. I will shock it in, and then tap 2. Go ahead and play Trace of Abundance. Enchant land. Enchanted land has Shroud. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds 1 mana of any color to his or her mana pool. And we're going to go ahead and enchant the Sacred Foundry. I have 3 mana, same as you. Pass turn.
All right. I'm going to start by playing a Reflecting Pool. It taps for any one type of land that I control could produce, which is basically anything with the Exotic Orchard. I am going to play Invasion of Ikoria. X is equal to 2. When Invasion of Ikoria enters the battlefield, search your library and or a graveyard for a non-human creature card with mana value X or less and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your libraries this way, shuffle. We're friends, right?
Yes, we're friends.
Cool. You're going to get control of this then.
Chill.
I'm going to search for a 2 mana or less creature. I'm going to go get Bloom Tender. I can tap it, and for each color among permanents I control, I add 1 mana of that color. I'll then pass.
Woo! I'm going to tap 3, taking 1 more life to activate the Thrawn Portal, and play the Free Strider Lookout. This is a 3/3 with reach, but when I commit a crime, look at the top 5 cards of my library. I can put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped, put the rest on the bottom in random order, only triggers once a turn. I am then, hot tech incoming, Talon Gates of Madara. When it ETBs up to 1 target creature phases out, I'm going to choose the Bloom Tender. So until your upkeep, it effectively does not exist, and then on your turn, it exists again. Nothing bad happens to it, but because I have touched one of your things, I commit a crime, and I get to check top 5 for a land.
I hope there's some land removal.
I am going to get the Basilisk Gate, which taps for colorless, but I can pay 2 and tap it to give target creature +X until end of turn, where X is the number of gates I control, which is currently 5. Then I pass.
I'm gonna go ahead and play a mountain as my land for turn, and I'm just going to pay 3 and play my first bobblehead, the Agility Bobblehead. I can tap it for any color mana. Then I can pay 3 and tap it and give X creatures haste, where X is the number of bobbleheads I control, and those creatures cannot be blocked except by other creatures that also have haste. And then I will pass the turn.
We're gonna pay 2 for a Arcane Signet. I'm then gonna play my land for turn, which is going to be a mountain. And, yeah. Pay 1, we'll tap this for black, we'll tap this for blue, and I'm gonna play Invasion of Amoket. Battle. When an Invasion of Amoket enters the battlefield, each player mills 3 cards, then each opponent discards a card, and I draw a card.
I don't want to discard my cards though, you see.
You have so many.
I'm gonna tap the bobblehead for 1 and make you an offer you cannot refuse.
No!
I'm gonna counter target non-creature spell. Its controller does get to make 2 treasures though.
Okay, I will take 2 treasures, especially since they're so cute.
It feels really weird doing nothing for the first few turns and just holding open counter magic. But with Veggie not here, someone's gotta do it.
It's an offer I couldn't refuse, but I also quite enjoyed. But for that, and for now, I will pass the turn.
All right, at the beginning of my turn, Bloom Tender phases in. I'm gonna start by playing Plains for turn. I'm then going to tap 5, and I'm going to play Elish Norn, Mother of Machines. Vigilance, if a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Permanents entering the battlefield don't cause abilities of permanents your opponents control to trigger. So I have a Panharmonicon, and you guys do not. I'm gonna tap Bloom Tender. I get 2 mana from it now as I control permanents with 2 different colors. And I don't really care because I don't really need it, but I'm gonna play Manifold Key. 1, tap, untap another target permanent, or 3, tap, target creature can't be blocked this turn. And I'll pass.
I'm going to pay 2 and a black to pay Iridescent Vinelasher's Offspring cost. So this is a 1/2, and Offspringing means I get to make a 1/1 token copy of it when it enters, and since all of you schmucks are tapped out, I think it will. It has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to target opponent. That part of the card is functionally blank because of Danny's Elish Norn. Oh, it's so cute.
Look at these.
Too bad it's going
Yeah.
to
These
die.
little copies.
Editor, please overlay In the Arms of an Angel on this next part. I'm going to take 1 more point of damage and tap the Dimir Guildgate, and I'm going to Deadly Dispute, sacrificing the Offspring token to draw 2 cards and make a treasure token.
You killed the cute lizard.
I had to because Elish Norn must die if my deck is to live. Then I'm going to play the Simic Guildgate as land for turn. 6 gates, but it's not as ominous anymore, and I will pass.
My land for turn is going to be a Shivan Reef, and let's go ahead and just pay 3 for my next bobblehead. Bobblehead of Perception. Again, taps for colorless, and I can pay 3 and tap it to look at the top X cards where X is bobbleheads, and then I can play a spell with mana value 3 or less from among those cards and put the rest onto the bottom. I think that's it. I'm gonna hang out from here.
We'll play Polluted Delta. I'm gonna immediately sack it. I will, in fact, shock and breed pool. I'm so sorry, because I need this to happen for me. I'm gonna go ahead and tap 1, 2, and 3, and I'm gonna play Crib Swap. It's a Kindred instant shapeshifter. Changeling, exile target creature. Its controller creates a 1/1 colorless shapeshifter creature token with Changeling. I had it in my hand the entire time.
And you're targeting that, right? Because that gets him more lands every turn.
If I could sacrifice for free at instant speed for no benefit right now, I would. I need this so much less than I need that dead.
So you could just agree to miss the trigger forever.
Yeah, you can.
Oh yeah, it's a May.
Yeah.
I will agree.
You agree to miss the trigger?
to never hit this trigger again.
I am going to exile Elishnorn, and you get a little 1/1 colorless shapeshifter creature token.
We have beef.
We do have beef.
I hate you.
Big beef. 4/5 for all the colors necessary. I will in fact bring out Marina Vendrell. When she enters, reveal the top 7 cards of your library, put all enchantment cards from among them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So we're gonna reveal top 7, 1, 2, 3, I swear.
If you do miss, it's gonna make killing Ellis
4.
hard. There you go.
5, 6, 7.
Was it worth it?
Okay, so I get Sanctum Weaver and I get, what is this? Roaring Furnace and Steaming Sauna. I love rooms. Rooms make me so happy. And with that, I will pass the turn.
All right, I will untap. I am going to play Swamp for turn. I have all my colors, which is nice. I'm going to tap 4, 5, 6, 7, and play out my commander, Atraxa Grand Unifier. Vigilance, Flying, Death Touch, Lifelink, 7/7. When Atraxa Grand Unifier enters the battlefield, reveal the top 10 cards of your library. For each card type, you may put a card of that type from among them revealed into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So shall we?
I hope you whiff. I know you can't.
I am going to get Sakashima the Imposter, Irenicus's Vile Duplication, Tyvar's Stand, and Invasion of Vryn. The rest will go to the bottom of my library.
This is like best case scenario. I have a sorcery copy spell and a creature copy spell that I can use in order to get more hands on more cards. This is exactly what I want, so I can get 1 enabler pieces for myself in the Millennium Calendar and the calendar itself.
I will then pass my turn.
I am going to play the Gond Gate. Gates I control enter the battlefield untapped now. It can tap for colorless or 1 mana of any color that a gate I control could produce. Because the land entered the battlefield and Elishnorn is gone, I will deal 1 damage to target opponent. I will deal it to Danny, because I promised NerdGirl that we had no problems, and this deck's damage doesn't matter. I will get a Free Strider Lookout trigger. Take the damage.
I thought we were failing to see
Right,
that
but
one.
I can't fail to look. I can fail to find anything, but I always have to look, and the 5 always have to go to the bottom. All 5 of those are going to go to the bottom.
He says with regret.
With Malice Aforethought. Then I will tap 3 to play Zamon and Dina, who's a 3/4 that says when I draw my second card each turn, target opponent loses 2 life and I gain 2 life. I can also tap them and sack another creature to draw a card and put a land card from my hand onto the battlefield tapped. If I control 8 or more, I repeat that process once. Tap 3, using the Talon Gates of Madara as a filter land for green to play On the Trail. When I draw my second card each turn, I can put a land card from my hand onto the battlefield tapped. Pass from there.
My land for turn will be a mountain, and then I'm gonna join the game. I'm gonna play my commander.
Yeah.
Iron Man is going to hit the battlefield, a 4/4 with flying and haste, and when he attacks, I get to make a treasure, and then I can sacrifice a non-creature artifact. If I do, I can then search my library for an artifact that has mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrifice artifact's CMC. So I'm gonna go to combat. Any flyers over there?
I have a Flying, Vigilance, Death Touch, Lifelink.
Maldhound. You have nothing, right?
I have a reacher that I'm not going to put in
But
front
he's
of
a 3/3, right?
it. Yeah, you got it. You good.
All right, Maldhound, take 3. On attack trigger, Iron Man's going to make me a treasure, and then I can sack that treasure to find a 1 CMC artifact.
Maximum pulse.
The artifact I'm going to find is a Soul Ring, which will come into play tapped, and that will do it. I will pass the turn.
For 2. I'm gonna play my very first room, Roaring Furnace. And this is currently locked. When I unlock this door, this room deals damage equal to the number of cards in my hand to target creature an opponent controls. It's currently 5. I'll be dealing that to Zimone and Dina. And then I'm going to go ahead and immediately tap Marina to unlock Steaming Sauna. I have no maximum hand size, and at the beginning of my end step, I get to draw a card. I am then going to tap 2 to play Nature's Lore, and we're gonna just ramp, and I'm gonna search for a forest card. Getting a Temple Garden. I'm not going to shock it in this time, and I'm going to go ahead and tap 2 to play a Sanctum Weaver. Enchantment creature. When I could tap it to add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of enchantments I control, which is currently 3. And with that, I will pass the turn.
Reflecting Pool, Deserted Beach, these 2 here for 4. And I am going to play Sakashima, the Imposter. It's going to enter as a copy of Atraxa Grand Unifier. When it enters the battlefield, I will then reveal the top 10 cards of my library, and I will put 1 card of each type into my hand. So shall we do this again? I'm going to grab Hinterland Harbor, Unnatural Restoration, a Fado Alchemist, and Kaito Dancing Shadow. I'm then going to tap my Bloom Tender for 4. I'm going to use that to play one of my revealed cards from last time, Invasion of Vryn. When Invasion of Vryn enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards, then discard a card.
Yeah, I don't think I can let that resolve, because you can just kill it with your flyer this turn and get the copy spell. So I'm going to tap my 2 bobbleheads, and I'm just going to cast Negate. I'm going to counter a non-creature spell.
Invasion of Vryn goes to Graveyard.
I have a sneaking suspicion it'll be back.
I think that's going to come back pretty soon. I'm going to tap 2 more, and I'm going to play a Fado Alchemist. I can tap it to untap target artifact or creature. It also has Morph, but who cares? I'm going to swing my Atraxa at my battle.
No shot, my friend. I block with Free Strider Lookout. I'm glad that I kept the Free Strider Lookout, but I feel like I should have played a harder sell about giving up all those triggers. The more turns that passed, the more I believe this might have actually been the best card in the entire deck.
Do you even know what the backside of it is?
I don't even care.
Do you guys even know what the backside of it is, actually? It's kind of important.
Right now, this is a creature that says, I put Maze's End on the bottom of my library. So I'm gonna go ahead. Hey, how about,
There's
how about
no
you,
risk
you
here.
tell the people what's on the backside?
Let's
It
go.
could be a card that says you poop yourself in the chair, and I still wouldn't let you get it.
Please don't do that. These chairs are nice.
This is dead.
Okay. The back is Zilortha, Apex of Ikoria. It's an 8/8 with the reach. And for each non-human creature you control, you may have that creature assign combat damage as though if it weren't blocked.
Yep,
So,
no thanks.
I gained 7 life.
You gained 7.
Yeah, I'll hold up that 1 mana, and I'll pass.
So I'm gonna tap 3, not for Zimone and Dina, for Retreat to Quarrelheim. Landfall. When a land ETB is under my control, I may tap or untap target creature, or I can scry 1. I'm then going to tap green, lose a life, tap out for the Ophiomancer. It's a 2/2 that says at the beginning of each upkeep, if I control no snakes, make a 1/1 black snake creature token with Death Touch. I'll then play Undergrowth Stadium. Not a gate! Look at me. Non-threatening. Almost empty-handed now. Retreat to Quarrelheim will trigger. There are no useful creatures for me to tap or untap because I know how everything on this board works. And so I will choose to scry 1. That will 100% go to bottom. And then I will pass.
I will untap
Haha! I get a 1/1 snake with Death Touch.
That's such a cute snake.
a snickety snick. Well, let's start with paying 2. I'm gonna cast Jeska's Will. My commander's out, so I don't have to choose one. I'm gonna get 7 mana, and I get to exile the top 3 cards. Those look good. Let's start with a land, which I will put into play. I'll just pay 2 of my red for the Straonic Resonator. That sounds great. It's an artifact that allows me to pay 2 and tap it, and I can copy target triggered ability that I control. And then I'm gonna pay a little bit more, and 2 blue, and just play Tezzeret. Tezzeret the Seeker comes into play with 4 loyalty. I can plus him to untap 2 target artifacts. I can -X to search my library for an artifact card with converted mana cost X or less and put it onto the battlefield and then shuffle. I can -5 that artifacts I control become 5/5s until end of turn. I'm going to use my last 2 floating mana and 1 more to cast a Scrap Trawler. A 3/1 that says whenever another artifact I control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, I can return another artifact from my graveyard to my hand with lesser value. So now I get to do something kind of cool. I'm going to go ahead and go to combat, and I'm going to have Iron Man attack Maldhound.
Why?
His trigger will go on the stack, and I'll use my last 2 mana to tap Strionic Resonator to copy that triggered ability. And that's gonna be so much fun. Now I get to search for things. First, I'll get 1 treasure token when the first one resolves, right? And then I will sacrifice the Soul Ring. And I'm gonna find an Ichor Wellspring. It's an artifact that says when it enters or leaves the battlefield, I get to draw a card. So I'll get to draw a card. And then I'll go to resolve Iron Man's second ability or trigger, get another treasure, sacrifice Ichor Wellspring, and that will trigger the Scrap Trawler, which will put Soul Ring back into my hand, and I'll get to draw for the Wellspring. I'm gonna find the Lucky Bobblehead, also taps for a colorless. I can pay 1 and tap it and roll X 6-sided dice, where that's the number of bobbleheads I control. I get to create a tapped treasure token for each even result. If I roll 6-7 times, then I get to win the game. I will use one of my treasures to replay the Soul Ring I got back. I'm going to pay 3 using the Soul Ring and one of my bobbleheads to play the Great Mirror. I can pay 2 and have it become a copy of an artifact, creature, or enchantment I control until end of turn. It just turns into an 8th bobblehead. I'll plus Tezzeret to untap 2 artifacts. So I'll untap these 2. We're just gonna tap all out. I'm gonna tap my Soul Ring to turn Mirror into the Lucky Bobblehead. And then I will pay 2 mana from my non-Lucky Bobbleheads to activate both of my Lucky Bobbleheads. So then I'll activate the first one using one of the floating mana to roll 1, 2, 3, 4 6-sided dice. So we're looking for evens. 1. So I get an additional tapped treasure, and then I will activate the other one and get 1 additional tapped treasure. I feel like that was
You got your mana back.
That was pretty bad value. That'll do it for my turn. That was fun.
Damage?
Oh, yeah, we get to now go.
Now we go to damage.
Now! I think we were supposed
Bunch of snitches!
I played Soul Ring and stuff already. I thought we had already done damage.
I thought we had already won at this point.
I just did the thing and I was happy. And then I'll pass the turn.
All right. Tap. I gotta do it. I have to. I'm gonna tap Marina, and I am going to go ahead and lock Roaring Furnace. This is a threat. Black, black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm gonna cast Extinguish All Hope. Destroy all non-enchantment creatures.
In response, I'm going to tap Exotic Orchard for a green. And I'm going to play Tyvar's Stand, targeting my Atraxa Grand Unifier. It gets +X/+X, which is 0, and gains hexproof and indestructible to the end of turn.
That's not good.
All non-enchantment creatures dies, so
right.
that means my commander goes back into the command zone.
I'm gonna have 2 artifact creatures that go into the graveyard, and because Scrap Trawler triggers when cards are placed into the graveyard, that means they are targetable. So when Scrap Trawler is in the graveyard, he will target a cheaper artifact, which will be the Ichor Wellspring. When Iron Man goes in there, he will target the Scrap Trawler, because they're both in the graveyard.
Hey.
So I will get these 2 back to my hand, and I will put Iron Man into the command zone.
Atraxa has hexproof for the rest of the turn.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
That is a problem. So I'm not going to do the Flourish at the end that I wanted to, so I'll just play my land for turn, which is Valgavoth's Lair. It's an enchantment land with hexproof. As it enters, I get to choose a color, and I think that color is going to be black. So I will go ahead and tap Sanctum Reaver and get my second room out for the game. Walk-in Closet, and I might play lands from my graveyard. And with that, I will pass the turn.
Alrighty. I'm going to start by tapping 4.
And I'm going to play Irenicus's Vile Duplication. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except the token has flying and isn't legendary if that creature is legendary. I'm going to target my Atraxa, Grand Unifier. I will create a copy. When that enters the battlefield, I will reveal the top 10 cards of my library. I'm going to choose Command Tower, the Millennium Calendar, Flicker of Fate, Savine's Reclamation, and Flicker Wisp. I will then tap 3 and play Savine's Reclamation. Return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If the spell was cast from your graveyard, you may copy the spell and may choose a new target for the copy. I'm going to return to my battlefield a Fado Alchemist. I will then use my last remaining mana to play the Millennium Calendar. Whenever you untap one or more permanents during your untap step, put that many time counters on the Millennium Counter. 2, tap the Millennium Calendar, double the number of counters on this card. When there are 1,000 or more time counters on the Millennium Calendar, sacrifice it and each opponent loses 1,000 life.
So if I can get above 1,000 life, I don't lose.
Yes. This is true.
I will then move to combat.
I'm going to swing Atraxa at Maldhound.
Joe.
Uh-oh.
That'll be 7 commander damage and I gain 7 life.
And I will pass my turn.
I'm going to spend 5 mana to recast Simone and pass.
All right, well, I gotta find more bobbleheads. So we're gonna replay my commander by paying 7. I am gonna play Great Furnace. It is an artifact, notably. I am going to tap 2 of my bobbleheads to replay the Ichor Wellspring. Again, when it enters, I get to draw. I'm gonna plus Tezzeret to untap some of my artifacts. I'm gonna tap 3 mana to go ahead and replay the Scrap Trawler. And I'm gonna go to combat. All right, Z, I'm sorry. You have more life than Malden. I don't wanna hit either of you.
Yeah.
But Iron Man's gonna come to you, and with the trigger on the stack, I'm gonna use the Strionic Resonator again to copy that ability. All right, with the first trigger, I will go up to 4 treasures, and I'm actually going to sacrifice the Great Furnace. Dude, you know how much trouble it is to get 7 bobbleheads on the board? I'm like halfway there, and I have to go up 1 number at a time. I have 30 more stacks I have to do.
I hate counting.
And that's gonna let me get the Voltaic Key. I can pay 1 and tap it to untap an artifact. And that's gonna come into the battlefield. With my second trigger, I'll get another treasure, but this time I'm going to sacrifice the Ichor Wellspring. I'm gonna find my 4th bobblehead, the bobblehead of Intelligence, and I'll get to draw from the Ichor Wellspring. And when the Ichorwood Wellspring goes into the graveyard, I get to recur another artifact with lower CMC, which is gonna be the Great Furnace, to my hand. Oh yeah. Then I get to go to damage. My friend, I'm sorry.
I will take 4.
And then finally, I'm gonna tap the Intelligence bobblehead to activate the Lucky bobblehead, which will allow me to again roll 4d6. 1! Still! What the heck?
Yeah, that bobblehead doesn't seem too lucky.
All right, we got 1 more tapped treasure, and that'll do it. That's the end of my turn, but I'm feeling better.
Okay, I will use Walking Closet to go ahead and play a land from my graveyard, and it is going to be a Polluted Delta. I am going to tap it and pay 1 life to look for land. It's gonna be a Godless Shine, and I will shock it in for 2. I'm gonna play Grasp of Fate. When it enters the battlefield, for each opponent, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls until Grasp of Fate leaves the battlefield.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll take Atraxa.
All right.
I'll take Simone.
Spike contingency activated.
They're activating Good Time Boys. We have to stop it. I will take Scrap Trawler.
All right, I will send Atraxa to my command zone.
I will cast Overlord of the Baelmerk. Jam a creature, Avatar Horror. Whenever it enters or attacks, mill 4 cards, then you may return a non-avatar creature card or a planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. We'll go ahead and do that. I'll mill 4 cards, which is going to be Thought Vessel, Nameless Inversion, which is a Kindred instant, Soul Ring. Really?
It's okay.
I mean, do you have any creatures in
No.
your graveyard? That's crazy.
I have.
Hey, see,
I have.
say goodbye to that removal.
0. I needed that removal.
Yeah.
We all did.
I cannot believe. I will use 2 of that mana to go ahead and unlock Roaring Furnace to ping that little guy for 2. I'll use another 2 for Lightning Greaves, giving Overlord of the Battlemark haste. And I will go to combat for once. You are at 40 life.
That's fine.
So I will swing at you for 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
And we will mill. Let's see if we get anything. Hey, guess what? That's not a non-avatar creature card. 2, 3, 4. What is this deck? I will go to my end step and I get to draw a card on my end step. And I will pass the turn. All of my interaction and delaying is paying off. I have one of my win conditions in hand and another in graveyard, which I can get back.
When I untap one or more permanents during that untap step, I may put that many counters on the Millennium Calendar. That is 8. I'm going to put 8 counters on the Millennium Calendar. I'm going to flashback for my graveyard, Savine's Reclamation. When I cast a spell from my graveyard, I may copy it and may choose a new copy. I am going to return to the battlefield, Bloomtender, and a Fado Alchemist. Okay, I'm then going to move to combat, and I'm going to swing my copy of Atraxa at Yuzi in spite and hatred. It is not my commander, so it's not commander damage, but it is 7 lifelink, death touch, flying, vigilance. I will then gain 7, going to 60. I'm then going to tap 2, and I'm going to play Regal Bunnicorn. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of non-land permanents I control, which is currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is a 6/6. I will then pass my turn.
Can you tap it?
Yeah, but the only benefit is you don't have to swing at either of us, right? And life totals don't really matter.
No, the benefit is I can maybe kill him.
Oh. I will play this Thespian stage, and on landfall, I will tap the copy of Atraxa rather than scrying one.
Yes. Yes.
Hold on.
I'm gonna kill him.
You're gonna try.
I'm gonna try really hard.
Tap 3 for Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. When it ETBs, sacrifice it unless it escaped, which it didn't. Whenever it ETBs or attacks, I gain 3 life and draw a card. Then I may put a land card from my hand onto the battlefield. So, having prevented myself from having that scry trigger, we're gonna hope. You better kill this.
I don't know that I can. I don't think I can outright kill.
Well, it's too late now. You made promises, nerd girl.
It's gonna be real close.
I'm very sad I see.
Uro will get sacrificed, and then I'm going to 2 blue, green, paying 1 life to my Thron portal, and I'm going to replay Uro by exiling all these cards that don't matter. Look at that, exactly 5.
Perfect.
When he ETBs, I will repeat the trigger, gaining 3 life. You better kill this.
I'm so sorry.
And then I'm going to tap my remaining 3 for the Morbid Opportunist. Morbid Opportunist says whenever 1 or more other creatures die, draw a card, only triggers once each turn. So maybe this time if I'm shot in the chest, I can benefit from it and I will pass.
I'm gonna go ahead and play a Great Furnace as my land for turn. I am going to pay 2 to cast the Talisman of Creativity. And then I am going to activate Tezzeret. We're going to -5 him to turn all of my artifacts into 5/5 creatures until the end of turn. And then I will do as I promised, and I will attempt to solve the problem because I'm tired of Danny looking at cards. And then I'm going to go to combat, and I'm going to attack everything at Danny, including my treasures. I will have a trigger from Iron Man. That'll give me another treasure that is not attacking. And I'm gonna have Iron Man get rid of the Talisman of Creativity to go look for another bobblehead. Actually, it's gonna be a Sculpting Steel. And I can have it enter as a copy of another bobblehead, which is better because I can make it the luck bobblehead, which is what I need to win the game.
I will throw my Bloomtender and a Fado Alchemist in front of whatever that needs to be thrown in front of. It's not Iron Man. And I will have my Regal Bunnicorn, which is a 6/6, block your original Lucky Bobblehead.
All right. Lucky Bobblehead is gonna bite the dust, and you're gonna go to 1.
I'm gonna go to 1.
Now, Maldhound, does that count as...
You did your best. You did your best.
If I had rolled on the treasures a little bit better.
True.
Oh boy.
I don't want to spend 5 more mana to do 1 damage. So I'm gonna leave it to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna trust you. I don't
Reasonable.
I don't think I can justify. I'm just going to pay 1 for Emery, Lurker in the Lock. When she enters the battlefield, I get to mill 4 cards, and then I can tap her and choose target artifact card in my graveyard, and then I can cast it that turn. So hopefully my lucky bobblehead will come back, but for now we're putting these cards into the graveyard. I do have a copy of Lucky Bobblehead. I'm gonna pay 1 more to tap Lucky Bobblehead to roll 6-sided dice. I have 1, 2, 3, I still have 4 bobbleheads.
2.
All right.
It's not bad.
So that'll add to my tapped dice, and I'll go up to 8 tapped treasures.
We've escaped the statistical anomaly.
And that's it, I've done my work. You may kill Tezzeret now if you wish as well. I'm happy.
Okay, it is time. I'm gonna go ahead and play Secret Arcade. Non-land permanents you control and permanent spells you control are enchantments in addition to their other types. So everything, including my lands right now, are enchantments. I'm in color fix for Marina, and then I have 10 mana. 2 of which still needs to be spent for my commander tax. Marina is out. And then I'm going to go ahead and reveal the top 7 cards of my library. I get to have every single one of them.
Other than
Except
lands.
that one.
Except for that one. So I will take this Aura, I'll take Fear, Sleep, Paralysis, I will take Zur, I will take Heroic Intervention, I will take Fractured Realms, and I'll take Ghostly Dancers. Play my land for turn, which is going to be Marsh Flats. And then I'm going to tap Marsh Flats, pay 1 life to go search for, hopefully, Hollowed Fountain. Hollow Fountain. I'm going to shock it in, taking 2 damage. And then I am going to put Boots on Marina. I'm going to unlock Forgotten Cellar. When I unlock this door, I may cast spells from my graveyard this turn, and if cards would be put into my graveyard from anywhere this turn, exile it instead. 4, I'm going to Crib Swap your copy.
Okay.
That will do it.
For my final mana, play Fear, Sleep, Paralysis. Whenever Fear, Sleep, Paralysis, or another enchantment I control enters, whenever I fully unlock a room, tap up to 1 target creature and put a stun counter on it. Stun counters can't be removed from permanents your opponents control. So I will do Iron Man. All right. Pass turn.
I am looking at everyone, begging them to be nice to me. And I really hope this works. Because I think if I can live like 2 or 3 more turns, I can definitely win. Which doesn't sound great in the context of Commander, but to me it's nice. I live.
You live.
All right, on your end step Z, I will tap 2 to tap my Millennium Calendar and double the amount of counters on it, going from 8 to 16. Then I will untap 10 permanents, which will then put 10 more counters onto the Millennium Calendar, and then I will draw for turn. I guess I will tap 9, and I will replay my commander, Atraxa Grand Unifier. All right, I'm gonna first grab Eorth of Healing House and Datha Triome, Nature Spiral. And I think I'm gonna bottom everything else at this point. All right, I'm gonna play Indatha Triome as land for turn. It enters tapped. And unfortunately, that's all I can really do. So I'll pass, and I'll discard to hand size.
I tap some at Guildgate for blue. I cast Brainstorm.
This is truly one of the games of all time, guys.
Can't
On
even
the trail.
Can't even get Iron Man out
On
of
the
baby
trail
jail.
is going to trigger. Whenever I draw my second card each turn, I can put a land card from my hand onto the battlefield tapped.
Ooh, are we about to put it? Were we about to do the thing?
Swamp.
Okay, it's not a thing.
Land for turn. Maze's End.
Oh, okay. We're
I
at
float
7.
a green. Maze's End enters the battlefield tapped. I can tap it to add 1 to my mana pool, or I can spend 3 mana and tap it to return it to its owner's hand. Search your library for a gate card, put it onto the battlefield, and then shuffle your library. If you control 10 or more gates with different names, you win the game. I'll have a landfall retreat to Coral Helm, trigger as well. I'm gonna tap Atraxa down for literally
Please
no
don't.
reason. For
Please
no
don't.
reason. For no reason. Wait, okay, let me.
Please.
I'm gonna scry one. I tap 5 for Ob-Nixilis the Fallen. 5 mana, 3/3 landfall. Whenever a land ETB is under my control, I can have target player lose 3 life. If I do, put 3+1/+1 counters on Ob-Nixilis the Fallen. I'm going to move to combat. I'm going to swing I'm gonna swing Uro at your face, Nerd Girl.
I will take it.
Yeah, on attack, I'm gonna gain 3 life. We've come this far. I want to see the dumb thing happen. Oh, hey, look, who could have thought of that? I'm gonna put Urza's Cave onto the battlefield. I will float another green. Urza's Cave is a land that can tap for colorless, or I can spend 3 mana and tap it, and then sacrifice it to search for any land card, and then put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffled. Pass.
I'm gonna start with the thing I need to do. We're gonna tap Emery, and it's gonna let me replay Luck Bobblehead. We're gonna go for it, friends. I am going to pay 2 to make mirrored image a copy of Lucky Bobblehead. So we now have 3 copies of Lucky Bobblehead. I'm going to pay 3 to activate. We're going to activate the Perception Bobblehead, which will let me look at the top 6 cards and play a spell with 3 mana or less. And we're hoping for a 7th Bobblehead. We're going to cast Dramatic Reversal. I get to untap all non-land permanents, but I'm going to respond to it by tapping some permanents. I'm going to go ahead and tap my 2 untapped bobbleheads that are not lucky to tap the 2 lucky bobbleheads, which means if I roll all 6s on my 6-sided dice, I win the game. We didn't get there, but I do.
You got 3 6s?
I got 3 of them.
Crazy.
That's a statistical anomaly already.
I do get 3 untapped treasures, or tapped treasures. I get to do it again. 2 more treasures, going to 5. They're tapped.
Always bet on Hikari. Come on.
I will tap 1 more to tap the last lucky bobblehead. 3 6s again. No!
The statistical anomalies hit.
But I do get 4, which puts me to 9 tapped treasures. And then I will use 1 treasure to use the Volcanic Key to untap my lucky bobblehead. And I'll use 1 more treasure and go to 7 to activate it. 2. Go to 11. And then I will let this resolve, which will let me untap all non-land permanents.
Oh, and all your treasures
including
untapped.
all of my new treasures. But
That's
not,
a little freaky.
But not my friend here. I'm gonna pay 3, go to 6, plus a bunch, to look at the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards and try to find that bobblehead. And I will play a bobblehead for free, the Endurance Bobblehead. Yes! We've completed 7 bobbleheads. Endurance Bobblehead taps for any color mana, and I can pay 3 and tap it and give up to X target creatures +1/+0, and they gain indestructible until end of turn, where X is the number of bobbleheads I control. I'm gonna play a land for turn. I will use that to activate a lucky bobblehead for 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tapped treasures. And then I'm going to plus Tezzeret to go to 2 to untap my lucky bobblehead and my agility bobblehead. I will pay 3, going down to 14 to again look at the top 7 and find a bobblehead.
And I cast Time Walk.
7 bobbleheads. We didn't find a bobblehead, but we found something that might get me a bobblehead. I found a Cursed Mirror. I can have it enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature, except it gains haste. My opponents are trying to stop me from unlocking ultimate cosmic power and getting the 6th and 7th bobblehead by locking down Iron Man. But Cursed Mirror is going to allow me to continue getting those triggers, put Iron Man in the command zone, and start over again next turn. And I will have it come in as a copy of Iron Man, which will kill Iron Man. Emery is going to allow me to recast my talisman. I'm going to attack Maldhound with my Cursed Mirror of Iron Man. With the trigger on the stack, I will pay 2 more mana to Strionic Resonator, going down to 9 untapped mana. With the first one, I'll go up to 10. And I'm going to get rid of the Strionic Resonator to find a bobblehead. That's going to find me the Strength bobblehead. And then I will go to the second copy of it. I will get rid of the Talisman for 2, and I'm going to find the Charisma bobblehead, which should give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all 7, plus 2 more bobbleheads with the Sculpting Steel and the Mirror. I have 9 bobbleheads in play, and now's the chance. This is the moment.
that I'm going to interrupt as the Sultai player
Fair.
to resolve my Morbid Opportunist trigger. Oh, look. The other card I put back from Brainstorm.
I have 3 lucky bobbleheads. I'm going to use 3 mana to get to activate them each. Go down to 8. I might not even need it, because we're gonna roll 9 dice. And if 7 of them, exactly 7 of them, are 6s, then I win the game.
Heart of the
We all
card.
get up and walk out of the studio.
It is a 0.009% chance for each individual roll and 0.03% for all of them. 6s! No, there's like 0.
There's not a single one.
Hey, you're getting all the non-6s out.
Exactly.
But I do get 4 more tap treasure tokens. All right, attempt number 2. I got all the non-6s out of the way. 6s. What?
Getting the rest of the non-6s out of the way.
1, 2, 3, 4 more. What are the chances of 0 6s in 18 dice? 6s. Okay.
1, 2.
3.
Okay, we got
Somebody get Bon Jovi.
3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 more tap treasure tokens. And then I'm gonna use the one final treasure token that I need, going down to 7, to tap the volcanic key to untap the lucky bobblehead. These guys will stay tapped. 6s!
That's
1,
Just 1.
2, 3, 3 more. I go to 21 tapped treasures. I hate it, but I'm gonna pass the turn.
Damn.
So we're going to play land from my graveyard.
Kill yourself again.
I'm probably gonna kill myself, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, this time, so I don't hurt myself too much, I'm gonna play this basic plains that is in my graveyard. I'm gonna tap Marina, and I am going to lock Forgotten Cellar. I am then going to pay 5 mana to unlock Forgotten Cellar for 5. There are indeed 2 green in there. And I'm gonna go ahead and get Assassin's Trophy into play, because now I can play it this turn, and I'm gonna get rid of your win con.
As my own girlfriend stares me down with the first instance of ethically correct land destruction in all of Commander, I can't help but look at my own tapped Thespian stage, because I misordered my own mana and now cannot save my Maze's End. No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes.
Oh, I'm
Let me
looking.
tell you something.
And I see the light
You
dying
will
in them.
never kill Uro. Not while I stand. You will never,
Get rid of
never
it.
kill my
Do you have a
win
response?
con. No, fine, I'll kill Uro. I mean, God.
Yes!
No.
I can't risk it. I can't risk it. So room fully unlocked, so I'm gonna go ahead and tap down Atraxa.
What?
Sleepy time.
Sleepy time.
Sleepy time for
Good
the
night,
boys,
Spit.
dude. You and me.
Good night.
You and me, we're dead.
Goodbye.
You had a great game.
It's time, Danny. I can't risk it. Then for a white, a black, and a blue, I'm gonna play one of my favorite creatures out there. Zur, the Eternal Schemer. Enchantment creatures I control have Death Touch, Lifelink, and Hexproof. I can play 1 and a white into it to make target non-aura enchantment I control becomes a creature in addition to its other types and has base power and toughness, each equal to its mana value. Isn't that nice? I also get another Eerie trigger. And I am going to go ahead and tap down. My choices don't matter. I just don't like a 6/6 on the board. I'm gonna tap the 6/6.
That's crazy.
You a sleepy time.
I wanna
right
make sure
now.
you're good in bed.
That's real hater behavior.
So I am going to go ahead and tap Sanctum Weaver for 13 white mana. 5 of that mana is going to be Starfield of Nyx. At the beginning of my upkeep, I may return target enchantment card from my graveyard to the battlefield. As long as I control 5 or more enchantments, which I very much do, each other non-aura enchantment I control is a creature in addition to its other type and has base power and base toughness, each equal to its mana value. With Zur, all of my enchantment creatures I control now have Death Touch, Lifelink, and Hexproof.
No.
The funny thing is, this dies.
No mana
And
value.
that means it actually goes into exile. For 2, I'm gonna go ahead and play my win con. Promising Stairs, using Arcane Signet to pay for blue. At the beginning of my upkeep, Surveil 1. I win the game if there are 8 or more different names among unlocked doors of rooms that I control. Fiercely Paralysis triggers yet again So I will stun something else, which is Emery.
She's sleepy.
She is sleepy. I will use that mana to unlock Dusty Parlor. Whenever I cast an enchantment spell, put a number +1/+1 counters equal to that spell's mana value on up to one target creature. I should have used that to unlock that first, now that I'm realizing, before playing these. But hey, anyways, value. But we are gonna get value still by triggering Fierce Sleep Paralysis yet again. And you're the only one with creatures over there.
I mean, sure, who?
You
cannot kill me in any way that matters.
I guess Morbid Opportunity. What is your biggest guy?
Obnixilis.
Obnixilis. Fierce Sleep Paralysis is going to go towards you, Danny. And then everything else that I have, including these silly little lightning greaves that fall off because they are now an enchantment creature, is going to be coming at you, Nerd Girl.
Okay.
Well, I am out of mana, and unfortunately out of ideas and options, so if this damage goes through, I die.
Well then, before blocks, I'm going to tap the Charismatic Bobblehead for 4 mana, and I will make 7 1/1 blockers.
Ooh.
They are soldiers.
Can I have one?
Unfortunately, not. I'm gonna put my 8/8 in front of your 7/7. I will put 3 creatures in front of the Grasp, leaving me 3 more creatures to block your biggest things, which is going to be 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
And I will take the Swiftfoot Boots.
Just 2 damage.
That's crazy.
And then I gain 39 life.
I will lose 6 soldiers, but I will get back a Scrap Trawler.
Of course, Nerd Girl had a response, but I'm not too worried because against all odds, I got my life total back up, which means Happily Ever After is online as a win condition for me. With that, I did the best I could. Took Danny out. Took you out. I'll pass the turn.
All right, I tap a swamp. I am casting Corrupted Conviction, sacrificing my own Uro because this stun counter makes him useless to me. Because I have sacrificed him, I will draw 2 cards. I will trigger on the trail. When I draw my second card each turn, I can put a land card from my hand onto the battlefield tapped. I'm gonna put this Gateway Plaza, which is a gate, which doesn't matter anymore. I'm gonna float a green. I'm gonna use that green to pay for Gateway Plaza's trigger, which says, when it enters, sacrifice it unless I pay 1 mana. Now, because of Gone Gate, it will enter untapped, and none of what I'm saying right now is relevant. So this will enter untapped. I don't have to sacrifice it. I will also get a retreat to Coral Helm trigger. I'm gonna scry 1. I am going to spend 4 mana to play Eureka Moment. Draw 2 cards, and I put a land card from my hand onto the battlefield. I get to play this second copy of Maze's End. It looks like Exotic Orchard, which doesn't do anything. But I'm telling you, let me tell you something, this is Maze's End. I will float a blue mana, and I will scry 1 again. I am then going to tap 1, whatever color doesn't matter. I'm going to tap Urza's Cave, whatever color doesn't matter, because I have the 1 blue flooding. I play Guild Summit. I can tap any number of untapped gates I control and draw a card for each gate tapped this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. I draw 4 cards. If I'm going out happy. I pass at maximum hand size. Do what you must.
Well, I want to do my funny bobblehead stuff, but I think I need to hurt Z instead. I'm gonna pay 2 to make Mirror a copy of Endurance Bobblehead. I'm gonna pay 3, and I am going to use the Charisma Bobblehead once again. Oops, it's 4, sorry, 1 more. We're gonna tap Charisma Bobblehead, and we are going to make 9 1/1s. I'm gonna pay 3 more to put 9 counters onto this one. We're gonna go to 16. Let's go ahead and pay 3 more for the Endurance Bobblehead to give 8 of these and 1 of these +1/+0. Go to 17, and we're going to activate the Agility Bobblehead, and up to X creatures get haste and can't be blocked except by creatures with haste. That's gonna be the same set of 8 and 1. I'll pay 3 more to give them all an additional, +1/+0 with the second copy of whatever this is. We will untap with Tezzeret, untap the 2 Endurance bobbleheads. And I'll pay 6 more, going to 11, to give both of them an additional, all of them additional +2/+0. So now I have 9 unblockable creatures. One of them is not unblockable because I didn't have enough. They have base power and toughness 1. They all have an additional +4/+0, making them 5 powered creatures for 40 damage, and one of them has 16 counters on them, making it exactly 56 points of damage. So we're gonna go ahead and swing with all but one of my soldiers for exactly 56 points of damage.
I die.
Holy God.
I can't. That's it. You got me.
The bobbleheads, they're awesome.
What does main phase 2 look like for you?
Rolling for lucky bobblehead. With Sculpting Steel and Mirror, I still have 9, so we're gonna try to roll them 6s.
You got 3.
That's not enough though. I'm still gonna get 5 tapped treasures. I'll pay 1 more, go to 9, and do it again.
You're gonna do what to the biscuits?
All right, how many is that? Oh,
3 again.
Only 3
again.
Drat.
You're so close.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll go to 11 tap treasures, play my land for turn, because I forgot, and then I will say go.
Okay. I'm going to tap 6 mana and I'm going to play AC, Tyrant of Gyre Strait. They're a 5/5 that says I can play an additional land on each turn, and whenever a land I control enters, I may draw a card. Pay 3. I'm going to sacrifice Urza's Cave. I'm going to search my library for a land card.
Does that put it into play?
Yes.
In response to that,
Oh, I'm done.
I will pay 3.
Well, that's fine.
Go to 7 treasures, and I'm gonna cast Chaos Warp
I hate it here.
onto, yeah.
I hate it here.
You can draw AC though.
I could flip AC. Yeah, I could flip AC.
Chaos Warp is going to target AC and make you shuffle it into your library, and then you'll reveal the top and put it onto the battlefield if it's a permanent.
Heart of the cards. Your grandfather's deck has never lost.
You cut this and then you flip it. I hate it here. I pass.
Turn Mirror into a copy of the Endurance. I'm going to pay 6 to give all of my creatures an additional +2/+2. I will untap those and pay another 6 and give them all an additional +2/+2 and make them unblockable. I don't know how many treasures there are here. There's 5. And now I'm going to hit you like I did with Z.
I cast Teferi's Protection.
I will cast Metallic Rebuke.
I cast Pact of Negation.
I can't stop that.
I win.
I'm sorry.
At long last.
Okay, so you won, right?
Yes.
Z, here's what you do. You lock your feet together, you lock your hands together, and you wiggle your toes in your shoes. I'm not even kidding.
Squeezing.
That's what you do, man. I'm not even kidding. So Z swings in with a big 6/6 flyer after tapping down my big 7/7 flyer, which is unfortunate because if I had sequenced my mana correctly, I would have 5 more life, which means I would still be dead, but I'd feel a little better.
Don't forget to support your favorite Commander show by doing something you were going to do anyway, and that's buy Magic singles. And you can do so by using our sponsor, TOA.
It really is that easy, and Tales of Adventure has a wide selection of singles from the most basic printings all the way through the most premium versions. And they've also started stocking sealed product now, so you don't need to go anywhere else for anything Magic.
And you get 5% off your entire order when you use code DECKEDOUT at checkout.
And you should know by now, the link is down in the description, right there.
It is Optimism Day. I'm optimistic that I'm not gonna die.
It turns out the most optimistic part was us thinking that any of us would win. Shut up, dude. Snitches. It's all snitches in this. Airball, give me Sexy Bidoof and a flowchart. I need to map this turn out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I may not have done Maze's End proud, but I'm pretty sure get to 8 gates, miss sequence, and fumble the entire game is the most accurate depiction I could ever give this archetype.
If you're building decks and you're not using Moxfield, then I feel bad for you. It just is the best tool for organizing, customizing, and collaborating on all of your decks.
In fact, it's the only way that our team can keep up with building sometimes over 20 decks per month. And it's the way that we can share our deck lists with you in a nice, easy format.
You can always support the show too, just by following us on Moxfield, where you can find every deck that's ever been on the show.
It's super telling when you we always know when
didn't
when
see
Z
this.
has gotten
What
it.
You
could
didn't
this-
see it. What
it's a
could
meld,
this
It's a meld
be?
card.
Z-Main Character, save me. Save me, Z-Main Character.
NerdGirl had too many tricks and triggers for me to keep up with. My time at the top was short-lived as NerdGirl slams the door right in my face.
Ultimate Guard is the industry leader in TCG accessories.
And Ultimate Guard products are the way that all three of us on the Decked Out team are able to organize, protect, and display our collections. And they're the best way to show off all of our cards on camera for you.
So make sure you use the link down below in the description to support the show and pick yourself up some amazing upgrades.
When this enters, I get to Skibbity Toilet, and then I can tap it and
Skibbity
pay 2
yibbity.
mana to hit you with my Riz. You're gonna have to make a Wisdom saving throw, where X is equal to the number of differently named permanents you control. If you fail that save, I get to Scrungle your Grimbus once a turn until the end of the game.
Oh my god!
Bobbleheads are a lot like Pokemon. You've got to catch them all. But once you do, they are incredibly powerful. And just like that, you can snap your opponents out of existence.
I think it's much later than 9 on
What time is it?
This is
20 after 9.
It's 20 after 9!
This is why I hate alternate win.
Yes, yet we remain!
Special thank you to our patrons and YouTube members. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to make these episodes.
That's right, it's specifically thanks to patrons and members like you, Dave, that we're able to keep this show weekly, and that means so much to us.
And don't forget, you can always become a part of the show to unlock those exclusive perks like signed tokens, Spelltable games, even have us play your very optimistic deck here on the show.
And of course, David, you can always support the show by clicking like and subscribing to the channel. That's all we've got for you for today. We'll see you next time on
Decked Out.